everyone. It is Friday, October 18th, and I am here to talk to you about moon signs. So, last week I hosted a full moon in Aries little celebration for my women in business group, and it was super fun. I did a little meditation with them, we did a burning ceremony, and I printed off everyone's chart to kind of say, well, this is where your moon sign is natally. So this is how the full moon in Aries might affect you. And once again, I was surprised by people not knowing what moon sign meant, not knowing what their moon sign was, and admitting to being completely confused when people use the term moon sign. So we talked through it, but it did bring to my attention the fact that, I've been overly immersed and I forget about the basics because it used to confuse me too 20 years ago. Anywho, so I thought today I would try to use my visual aids again to show you guys a little bit about how moon sign works. And so my visual aids, very beautifully gifted to me by my friend Shannon Bienvenue, another Scorpio. This is the sun. Okay, I'm gonna have to get out of my chair for this one. Do it like this. And this is the earth. So right now I'm not even going to make this where it's supposed to be, but we're at 25 degrees of Libra, right? 5 days from now, maybe 1 degree a day, roughly, we will move into Scorpio at some point on the 23rd of October. So it takes 365 days and 1 quarter for the earth to go all the way around, full rotation around the sun. And the zodiac is 360 degrees. So it fits pretty neatly, right? 360 degrees takes us 365 days. What happens with the extra 5 days? Sometimes we move a little bit faster. Sometimes we move a bit slower. As you can note, sometimes the days are longer and sometimes they're shorter. We're getting shorter and shorter right now. Where's the freaking sun? So it fits, but it's not like exactly perfect. Now, second set of visual aids. Yeah, and so every sign is 30 degrees long. 360 degrees, 30 degrees of Libra, 30 degrees of Scorpio. We get to 29, 59 minutes degrees of Libra, and then we go to 0 degrees of Scorpio. So here's our little Earth. And what do we have cruising around us? La Lune, the moon. So the moon takes 28 days to go on a full rotation around the Earth. So everything that we measure astrologically in tropical kind of like Placidus, I won't get into the house system, or I won't get into the kind of astrology I'm talking about because there's many different forms, but the dominant one that we use in North America is we're measuring everything from the Earth, okay? And well, most of the people do that astrologically. I'm not going to get into this. Why am I even going on this segue? So this is the Earth and the moon, 28 days to go around. So again, we're going to take that 28 days and we're going to use the 360 degrees of the zodiac. So 28 into 360. The moon is changing sign once every 2.5 days. So right now we're at about 20 degrees of Gemini. But by tomorrow, like kind of late morning, around 10:30, that Gemini is going to move into Cancer. And then 2.5 days from that, Cancer is going to move into Leo. The moon's going to be in Leo. Then 2.5 days after that, moon's going to be in Virgo. Then it's going to be in Libra. So every 2.5 days, that moon is changing sign. So it goes through the whole zodiac in 28 days. It does 360 degrees. A circle. Perfect little circle, the little spheres. That's the way the universe kind of created. Madness. So when people are saying, what do you mean by what's my moon sign? It means that if someone was born today, they would be born with their moon in Gemini. But if they were born tomorrow afternoon, they would be born with their moon in Cancer. And then maybe 2.5 days after that, let's say October 24th, and now I'm starting to get out of my comfort zone, but it'll go into the next sign. So that gets a little tricky for people because essentially the moon is moving 12 degrees a day. And at some point in the day, it's going to change from one sign to another. So it's not enough just to know what day of the year you're born, you have to know kind of what time you're born to know if, you were in the part of the day, like tomorrow at 10:30, it's going to change to the moon in Cancer. But if you were born at 10 a.m., your moon would be in Gemini. If you're born at 11 a.m., your moon will be in Cancer. What does that mean, you say, to have my moon in a certain sign? Your sun describes your ego, your heart's desire, what you're becoming in this life. And as I've said before, an astrologer I really respect at one point, given the pressure to come up with a rough percentage, said the sun accounts for like about 52% of kind of our personal makeup. It's what we're always becoming. And it can be more than that. Say if you were born and your sun was in Gemini and your moon was in Gemini, then you'd be a double helping of Gemini. But your moon describes your emotional nature. So it describes kind of where you experience emotional ups and downs, how you give and receive love, give and receive comfort. It's kind of like your emotional nature. So for example, with me, I'm a Scorpio sun, but my moon when I was born was in Sagittarius. And so that makes me a very fiery Scorpio, especially because I have 5 other planets in Sagittarius and my rising sign is fire. So I've got a lot of fire in my chart, although I am a water sign. And like, trust me, I'm a Scorpio, but I'm a different kind of Scorpio because my moon is in Sagittarius. And then I'm not going to talk about rising sign. We're just talking about moon sign right now. So it is really cool to know what your moon sign is. And I will say, just in closing, the thing that I find really significant about moon signs is how they operate in relationships. Because as you can imagine, if your moon sign, whatever sign your moon is in at the time of your birth, describes how you give and receive comfort, it's kind of handy when you have a moon sign in common with someone. A lot of my closest friends have their moon in Sagittarius. My husband has his moon in Sagittarius. So like I always said I wouldn't date a Gemini. His sun is in Gemini, mine's in Scorpio. It doesn't naturally go together, right? But we understand each other emotionally and we know how to give comfort to each other. And we just get each other on an emotional level, which I think is pretty goddamn important in relationships. So I'm not saying it's everything, but I think from my personal experience and from what I can see in other relationships, it really helps to have complementary moon signs. Because people are always talking about the sun, but they're not talking about the moon. That's where it's at, baby. That's all for today. I hope you guys had a great week, and I'll see you next week.